and welcome to the Healing Word of the Week podcast with me, Marissa of Marissa Moments, where you might get triggered into seeing your own reflection, but it's to reconnect you to yourself and awaken the divinity within. So prepare for laughs, resonance, and accountability through true stories, channeled messages, prophetic words, and everything in between. So I hope you're ready because guess what? Here we go. Okay, y'all, I want to talk to you about the word joy, J-O-Y, joy, right? Now, in a previous podcast, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, it's called Stories. It's a two-parter. Go listen to it. Doesn't matter. But I explained to you a little bit about my own personal background, right? One event that happened to me, a huge event that majorly impacted my life was I had an NDE. Right. And if you don't know what an NDE is, it's a near-death experience. Right. So immediately after delivering my twin daughters naturally, I hemorrhaged 8 liters of blood. And I'm just going to give you a quick catch up. You can go listen to the story for the full details. But I hemorrhaged. I had emergency surgery, almost died. Right. Now, that is a huge summation. But immediately after I was released from the hospital, not even after I was released from the hospital, honestly, when I woke up immediately after surgery, I had this new sense of elation, right? Maybe the word should be elation, but no, we're going to focus on joy. So I had this elation and jubilance. Is that how you say it? That felt right. Anyway, let's go with it. So I was super excited, right? I was super excited to be alive, everyone. Now, which is quite ironic for me personally, because full disclosure, I battled depression like no other. Well, probably like you or maybe somebody you know, right? And I've had those dark thoughts. I've had those moments and instances where I thought I no longer wanted to be here, right? And even after going through this time, well, you know what? Let me stop. I'm about to get ahead of myself. But anyway, in this moment, I was super excited. I had all this joy in my heart for being alive. I can recall going to pick up my daughters for the first time after I was finally released from the hospital. Mind you, I was hospitalized for about 13 days, and I wanted to go with my husband. He said, "You sure?" I was like, "Yes." I went to the school, and as we're on the ride, I'm looking out the windows with new eyes, right? Everything seemed brighter. Everything seemed like happier, more peaceful, all of these things. I was elated, you guys. Now, at this point, you know, it's elementary school, so I don't know if you're familiar with it or if your school systems do the same thing, or even if you have school systems. But at my children's school system, we have to get out and go to the school to pick up our kids and make sure, you know, we check in with the teacher for safety measures, right? So I decided in that moment, I want to go get my daughters. I want to surprise them. They didn't even know I was coming home from the hospital yet. You know, I know that they had been through a lot and I just missed my baby. So I wanted to go get them. So as I'm going to go get them, my body gave me a response that said, "Ma'am, you need to slow down," right? Now, again, mind you, the word is joy, and I promise you I'm coming back to it, so stay with me. So I felt everything in my body, saying like, listen, maybe next time you want to think twice about it, but it didn't negate my joy. So now let's get fast forward. Yes, spoiler alert, I did pick them up. Everything was safe. Everything was great. I got back in the car and I was like, oof, I was so tired, but I was still elated. Now, fast forward some months, I started to kind of get in my own head. I started to wonder, why did I survive? Why me? Why did other people not survive this exact same ordeal, yet I survived? What was my purpose? Why was I here? Was I supposed to be doing something great? And if so, what was it? Because I didn't feel like I was doing anything, right? And the pressure of the world started to snuff out the joy that was in my heart, right? I started to become overwhelmed by dark thoughts and dark notions and all of these different things. I started to allow outside influences to infect and affect my heart, right? It started to smother the light that had been beaming so bright. Now, the reason why Spirit is putting this message and had me reveal that story to you is because oftentimes that's what happens to many of us, yourself included, right? We go from a place and space of pure joy. We're able to count our blessings. We're able to see our blessings. We're able to just walk outside and appreciate just God's earth, right? All the wonders of the world. We're able to look up at the sky and think, wow, that is amazing. It's an artistic masterpiece, and it changes by the moment and every single day, right? We're able to start recognizing the beauty within our own children. We are grateful for them, even when they drive us crazy, right? We're able to appreciate the fact that, yeah, I might not like this job, but you know what? I'm pretty darn stoked about being able to buy my food and provide myself with shelter, right? That's joy, right? That is counting those blessings. However, we all exist in an environment that has several factors that can work together to make us forget that joy, to make us forget that peace, make us forget all of those things and override it with suffering, with doubt, with just uncertainty, right? Which is the same thing as doubt, right? But the bottom line to this is we have to become very cognizant. We have to become very aware in those moments of what we're allowing to take place. And that's why it's often important to practice a pause. That's why it's often important to practice that mindfulness, because without being aware of what you're doing and what you're allowing in, then anything is allowed in. That's why it's also important to be mindful of what you entertain in terms of what music you're listening to, what television shows you're watching. Now, listen, I'm not going to tell you what to watch. I'm not going to say that you can't watch a horror movie. I'm not going to say that you can't listen to, I don't know, death metal or whatever it is that you enjoy. But you have to be mindful when you are consuming these things, right? Because you are consuming them. Just like with food that you consume into your body that has a direct impact on your health, right? Anything that you take in, anything that you entertain is having a direct impact on that potential for joy and that potential for darkness and depression and angst and anxiety and stress and all of those things. That is also why it is key and important to be mindful of the company that you keep. Now, we've all been in the presence of the proverbial Debbie Downer. Now, if your name is Debbie, I love you. You might not be a downer, right? So don't take it personally. I don't want to trigger you in that way. But we've all been around those types of people. We've all been around people who find pleasure in their pain, right? Who choose to identify with the darkness just to have something to converse about, right? How many times have you had a conversation with someone and you say, hey, how you doing? They start talking about their health issues. They start talking about, oh, I'm sick. Oh, I feel my throat starting to get itchy. Oh, I'm so tired. Oh, I'm so this. Oh, I'm so that, right? But have a conversation with somebody who actually can see beyond their own sorrows into the blessings and the joy of their life, right? And then walk away from both of those conversations and then take that litmus test to see how you feel. Do you feel drained? Do you feel energized? What do you feel after these encounters? That is how we have to be mindful of our joy. That is how we have to foster it. That is how we have to take care of it, almost like a newborn baby, right? Because it's so crucial. Your mindset is what dictates your entire existence. And if all you can see is doom and gloom, and I'm not saying that you have to do all of this on your own, right? Because Lord knows I've done years and years of therapy. And even with the therapy, it doesn't necessarily mean that that's what got me to where I am right now. But therapy in conjunction with mindfulness, in conjunction with different, even religious dogma and all that type of stuff, all of these different things, right, is what has gotten me to the place I am today. And it does not mean to say that everything is going to be roses and daffodils, that everything is a state of perfection, because as I've always said, I still lose my temper. I still have moments where I start to sink and sink and sink, because when you have depression, if you know, you often battle it forever, right? Now, I'm not claiming that on myself. Instead of saying that we battle it or we're challenged by it or we suffer from it or any of those types of things, I like to say that I overcome it, right? Depression is something that has tried to take me, but I am not allowing it, right? Instead, I am focusing in on that joy. Bottom line to this bottom line is you have to become mindful of what you are allowing yourself to entertain, to ingest, to digest, to regurgitate, right? Because you don't want to be the person as well that's stealing someone else's joy. This isn't all about pointing the finger at other people and saying that and claiming that we are the victims, because no, this is about reclaiming our power, right? This is about reclaiming our authority. This is about walking in our own personal divinity, our birthright, right? And this is about taking action behind words. This isn't just about wearing a nice t-shirt that has a nice slogan on it that says, good vibes only. This is about actually doing the work to shift our lives, and not only just our lives, but the lives of those around us as just a direct result. It's not about having to do something specific to say, this is what I'm going to do for that person to change their life. No, guess what? By existing within your own healing, by doing the work, by walking your own sovereign journey towards enlightenment, ascension, clarity, healing, however else you want to phrase it, you are in fact directly impacting those around you, whether you know them or not. Just by carrying that joy in your heart, it is infectious, just like darkness is infectious. So it's up to you to choose which one you want to pass on to the world around you. Do you want to continue to pass on that darkness that we already see within the world? Or do you want to work on and try to focus on passing on that joy that you feel in your heart? Now, of course, my experience, my near-death experience was major, right? And I don't want you to think that you have to go through some sort of exponential life-altering event in order to find joy in your own heart or in your own life. It starts small, people. I mean, just God knows how I function, though. I need big in order to be proverbially knocked upside the head and awoken to the possibilities, right? For you, hopefully not. Hopefully you can get your lessons. Hopefully you can accept and engage in that joy and blessings by noticing the beauty in the sky, noticing a stranger that says hello to you. Maybe even if you're in a bad mood and then all of a sudden you allow that joy from that person and that neighborly instinct or whatever you want to call it to impact you in a positive way. It's easy to hang on to darkness. It is very easy to do so. But by being mindful and by focusing in on that joy that you want to shift into, you are reclaiming your power and you are reclaiming that authority and divinity. But I've already gone on and on, so hopefully you are picking up what I'm putting down, because yes, this message is for you, right? There's a reason why you're hearing me right now. Take this message, reflect on it. Don't just say that was a good word and keep it moving. No, let's start applying these words. Let's start applying these messages to our everyday life. And it's okay if you miss out on an opportunity to be joyful and maybe you're a curmudgeon instead. Maybe you feel grumpy, right? But after that passes, have a mindful moment and say, oh, I could have probably done better. And then do better the next time. Right? It's not about perfection. It's about progress and effort. But that's it for real, for real. I hope you have the best day ever. And thanks for listening. If you don't already, make sure you subscribe, you follow, you like all of those things, because as I always like to say, the only thing better than walking this healing journey is to walk it with a friend. So let me be that friend to you. And until next time, have the best day, happy healing, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.